What's up, guys? It's your boy, the Badwolf, here to bring you more information on right to travel. Now, I know I've covered a lot of this with you guys in other videos, but I'm going to try to make one longer video putting everything on the subject together because it still seems like some of y'all aren't doing the research. You're not watching the videos. Okay? I'm going to tell you right now, this may not be for you. Traveling in your personal conveyance may not be for you. This is not an easy peasy cut thing. We are dealing with ignorant, not all of them are, but a lot of ignorant people, ignorant cops, people who don't have this information. Okay, they're not looking up the Supreme Court rulings. They're not doing this. Okay, so let's just start at the beginning, and we're gonna go from there. Okay, so as I've told you guys before, you should have in your car a binder. What should be in that binder? All right, you need to get the counselor manual that's on my website, blacksite32.com. It's on there. Download it. It's a lot of pages. Print most of it. Print the sections you need. Print all of it if you can. Um, if you don't have that or you don't want to print all that, that's fine. Next, you need to go and get your local city or state police manual. You Google police manual.pdf, foreign national. Get it. If you're sending me messages and you don't have these materials in your binder, in your car, I can't, I'm not here to, like, I'm not going to be there on the side of the road to talk to these cops for you. Okay? You know, that you have to be able to know what you're talking about, hold your ground, instead of just candying up and going, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Massa. Now remember, they're the ones with the gun, so if they're going to tell you to do something, ask them, is this an order? Are you ordering me? Because if they're ordering you, meaning that, you know, they're threatening you because they're the ones with the gun, I tell them, hey, I don't have to do anything that I don't want to do. And if they're saying, well, you need to comply, needing to comply and you forcing me by telling me I have to comply because you're the one with the gun, then I will comply under duress. And that should be in your police report. Okay? That's what you have to say. Are you ordering me? Because first of all, if you're ordering me, I'm not a soldier, okay, and you're not my commanding officer, so you really can't order me. But if you're telling me that this is an order and that you have a gun, then guess what? I will comply because I don't want to be shot. All right, which means it's under duress, which means later on, well, we'll get to the reports and stuff later. All right, so the next thing you need to have in there is any proof that you have turned in your plates. Don't contact me if you have not taken your plates off of your car and made your own plates. If you're riding around or hot boying around with their plates on there because you've got a U.S. national card, you are mixing jurisdictions. You can't do that. Okay? You can't. You have to get rid of their plates. If you have another car, you can travel or drive in that car. Don't mix the two. Okay? So keep proof that you have gotten rid of your plates. Keep proof that you've gotten rid of your driver's license. If you're still driving around with your driver's license on you, you're driving. Because they're going to pull you over and ask you for ID, and then all of a sudden, you're like, here, run my U.S. national card. They're like, oh, I'm not going to look at that. Okay, so you're going to deprive me of my rights. All right, make sure you put that in your report, because when I take you guys to court and I sue you for deprivation of rights, starting at $250,000, suddenly they're going to start paying attention. But some of these cops are going to overstep. Some of them don't know the law, and some of them are going to be like, oh, that's not real. Okay. Tell that to the Supreme Court, which is, you know, over you and over your commanding officer and over the chief of police and over, I don't know, everything that you guys do. Yeah, look it up. You think I'm bullshitting? Look up Supreme Court rulings, right to travel. There's countless rulings. Okay? Brings me to my next thing. Make sure that you download right to travel. Okay? Go on Google. Type in right to travel document. It'll have all. A matter of fact, I probably should have it on my website, blacksite32.com. Download it. Print it. Put it in your in your binder. Okay, that's just starting off. You should have all those things, all proof of things. And for some of you guys, you're not contacting the DMV after getting rid of your driver's license and doing a Revocation of Signature, telling them you are removing yourself, you're closing the account. Now, a general letter might work, but generally they're just going to tell you that we don't close accounts here. Okay? Which is why I created the letter that I've used and that you can get from me down below or on my site, where you are going to force their hand legally and legit, and then you're going to put them in a situation where they're going to have to pay you $2,000, $5,000, $100,000 fine if that information is used against you in the future. There's a whole bunch of other goodies and stuff in there. You have to close out your file. Okay, and if they don't close it out and then the cops use it against you, you can sue them, the DMV, and then go after the cops for deprivation of rights and violating your constitutional rights and then some. So from there, you've done all that. Now, no plates, no registration. You've closed and canceled everything. You've made your own plates. You've covered your VIN in your window. Now you are essentially traveling. Okay? You have changed, you have done your status correction, you've notified the various places, you are legit to travel. Some of y'all may not be built for this. I'm just going to keep it real G for you. Like, this ain't for everybody. You guys can't be going out there getting these interactions with them and then being like, oh, well, I thought I was just on the do not detain list. I told you guys before, there really is not such a list that just goes, oh, there's that U.S. national, we're going to leave him alone, No, there are databases that contain your information on your status correction, but they're not going to send it all the way down to your specific DMV record, and then the cops are going to look at that and it's going to say do not detain. That's why you have the book. That's why you have the card. And I've been hearing some of these cops don't want to run them because they already know you are outside of their jurisdiction. So they're going to ignore that if they can, especially if you don't know how to search yourself. Some of them have been ignoring people's requests to have a senior officer. If that's how they're going to play it, then you just comply, and then you write a complaint on that cop, get their copy of the report, and you write a complaint about them. You contact the chief of police, and you tell them your officers at this location and this badge number and whatever else deprive me of my rights. If you're not familiar with this is what you put in your letter, then I will take you to the Supreme Court and sue everybody for $250,000 per incident that occurred. Okay, you deprived me of my rights. You didn't allow me to have counsel. You ignored my citizenship and status. But you have to have these things in place before just saying it. So have all these things in place. Don't just take one piece of my video or the next person's video and then just do it. You have to have all of these things done. You've been contracting with these people your entire life, and you have a record built up with them that you guys have never bothered to even to try to get rid of, to close, or challenge, or whatever else. Okay, so when you guys do contact me and you tell me you have had these situations, I'm just going to tell you to buy the form for dealing with court, because obviously, you're not doing what's in the video. Okay, you have to do all of these steps. You can't do a part of it. You still have it's like you still messing around with your baby mama, but no, I don't mess with her. I don't mess with her like that, bro. We don't kick her or nothing. I just go by and we smash her once in a while. Then you're still in her jurisdiction. You have to, if you have more than one car, do what you want to do. You know what I mean? If you drive CDL, then that should stay CDL. Your personal car, you can travel if you do all the steps. Me and thousands of other people do this every day, and we have like 0 to maybe 1 problem, if ever. You know what I mean? Because we're not driving fast, we're minding the speed limit. They don't have a right legally to just pull you over because you have a private plate or any of that stuff. Okay? If they do any of those things, they're overstepping and they can be held liable. Okay? But you're going to have to be willing to file a complaint. You're going to have to put all this information. You're not going to argue the issue. Don't argue the issue. You send them a letter. Matter of fact, you can be preemptive. Okay? Matter of fact, so when you get all your stuff together, you put it all together, and you can also send it down to your local county register so that it's registered. You have recorded that you are a traveler. You can contact your governor and say, hey, I am traveling. This is my information. Put it out there. Okay, because later on, if something occurs, like a pullover and it's a crappy situation, there is proof in the public domain that you told them, this is who I am. And this is what they, to a degree, require or ask by law, is that you're going to be traveling, that it is recorded so that they know. Okay, Send that same letter. Once you get everything, before you step foot in your car and do any of this, send a letter to the chief of police. Hey, I'm putting you guys on notice. This is what I'm doing. I've already contacted my state governor. They said, blah, blah, blah. I have right to travel. They know it. Put in there some of the information on the right to travel packet, that downloaded book, document. Put some of that in there. Send it off to the chief of police, like I told you guys to do before in the other videos. Because if you're not, and these cops are going to overstep. Some of them are just going to overstep anyway. Some of them are just straight pricks. But some of them are good. There's countless videos where cops are like, yeah, I know what right to travel is. I'm familiar with the Supreme Court. Have a good day. But just like anywhere, even at the post office, you're going to have one guy that's good and one chick that's having a bad day. Because, maybe she didn't get none last night. Whatever it is, it's just what it is. And don't forget, straight up, years ago, the FBI already put out a report that said there are racist KKK members in the police department. They said that was happening back in the 90s. Ain't nothing changed. All right, now they're just more seasoned. Okay, so avoid them as much as possible. Mind the speed limits. Mind all that stuff. Not because you have to, but because if you're out there traveling or driving fast and whatever else, even as a U.S. national, state citizen, foreign national, if they consider your speed to be endangering your passenger who might still be a U.S. citizen or somebody on the street, you are endangering them. You're giving them jurisdiction to bother you because you're endangering U.S. property. Okay? Because some of those buildings are U.S. property. The street is national and public. Okay? But the person in your car, the person across the street, you might be zooming through a school zone. You're endangering U.S. citizens. You're giving them jurisdiction. So chill out. Okay? Next up, remember, I'm not the first person to do this. I learned from old cats who were doing this when I was a kid. Okay? They've been doing it. I do it, and people will do it after us. But you guys are on the front lines. If you're going to do this, you can't cry and whine later on that they did this, they did that. Okay? Especially if you haven't followed the rules. And even if you follow all the rules, it does not mean that some cop or whoever else might not overstep because they are ignorant of all of the laws. They are taught statutes within their jurisdictions. They are not taught Supreme Court law in rulings for constitutional United States of America nationals. Okay? So for them, from their perspective, they're like, unless they are educated, okay, and that's a whole other series I can make, on some being yes, some being no, and how they hire, people in the middle. We'll just leave it at that. No offense to the good ones out there and the smart ones, but you know what I'm talking about. You know those ones who ain't, unfortunately. So even if you do everything right, it doesn't mean that you still won't have problems. You have to be in a position to deal with the consequences of the situation after the fact. Okay? What was it, like months ago, one overstepped with me, and I had to basically send in my letter that I use and tell them, no, I'm not under your jurisdiction. This is how it's going to be, blah, 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 blah. And it was done with. Okay? Quietly. They're not going to, put a big TV print out and say, yes, Mr. Badwolf got away with this and because he's, blah, blah, blah. No, they're not going to say that. And I'm not here telling you just to try to do stuff to try to get away with it, because the more you bother them, the more they're going to keep bothering you. And if they see that you kind of halfway know the knowledge, sir, well, I'm traveling, and so here's my passport card. And they're like, no, give me your driver's license, otherwise we're taking you to jail right now. You know what I told them? Well, take me to jail. I was like, I'm just going to sue you guys, and I bill out at $900 an hour for every hour I'm going to be in there, because I'm a foreign national, so if you want to deprive me of my rights, let's go ahead and get that started. I'm not, one, I don't even have a driver's license, so what are they